All right, everyone, here we are with ticker symbol OCGN, Ocugen Inc. And before we jump into this chart, I want to say welcome to all the first-time viewers and investors. Welcome to the channel, Invest for Tomorrow. To all the subscribers, welcome back. And before we jump into this chart, I just want to quickly announce the fact that I have a Twitter account now. You could follow me on Twitter. The link is down below in the description. And stay tuned till the end of this video because I do have a new ticker symbol to share with you guys. In the previous videos, we talked about WBA, Walgreens Boots Alliance Inc. And now I have a new ticker symbol you want to add to your watch list and keep on your radar due to the fact that the EV sector is getting hot right now and the innovation is moving forward. And this stock has a niche in that sector, which could benefit from the market share overall of the EV sector. So stay tuned for that till the end of this video. So OCGN, I always want us to remember where it came from. Down here at 30 cents, 29 cents, 28 cents, give or take. Ran up, consolidated, ran up again. So for those of you that have answered in the previous video why it ran up here, and what we're waiting for, I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to those of you that have commented that before. If anybody wants to comment it again, you're more than welcome to for any first-time viewers and investors coming across the video. But these two have been driven by news, right? The first thing was the talks of Ocugen partnering up with the biotech firm in India and Covaxin and all the great news there. Then going into trial 3 phase and the earlier trials, how things were doing and what the cocktail of the vaccine entails, right? So that's what started to create this run. This second run is the fact that it got emergency approval in India. So Ocugen's really smart. Right now, Ocugen has basically an intangible approach on Covaxin, yet it's reflecting whatever positive stuff is going on with Covaxin, even though they don't even have it at arm's reach or at grasp, right? Physically, Ocugen is getting rewarded through, right, their chart due to the fact that they partnered with that company to be the U.S. market distributor. That's a big deal. But Ocugen was very smart. They took advantage of this opportunity. They're the first ones that partnered up with them. And they're in the hopes of getting FDA approval to officially be the U.S. market distributor of the Covaxin vaccine, which for those of you that are not aware, it's done in a traditional form with the inactive form of the COVID-19, and it also protects from the evolving, quote-unquote, COVID-19, right? Mutations and so forth, like a typical vaccine. That's what the trials and articles say. I'm just going based off what I've read, and most of you have probably read it before, and I pulled it up in previous videos. But Ocugen right now physically has no Covaxin. I don't think they have any. This is an intangible theory right now. It's like all news and speculation. So I've told you guys before in the previous videos that that's what we're waiting for this to become basically tangible at arm's grasp, right? They can't even really say they're holding it. I mean, if they have it, that's great, but they don't have FDA approval to be the U.S. market distributor just yet. But they've partnered up with them, and all of this is all the great news going on with Covaxin in India. Nothing yet in the U.S. But some people have stated in the comments before that there's going to be some hiccups. It's not going to be easy for them to go ahead and get that approved, to bring it over from India to here. And that's all theories right now. But the biggest thing we want to be aware of is where it came from, how it held up here really well, how it started to fall. And I started saying we're looking like it's going into a consolidation period. And another consolidation period is not unhealthy. Now, there's two ways this can go moving forward. That's either no FDA approval or any negative news with Covaxin overall, or FDA approval. Officially, Ocugen is the FDA approved US market distributor of Covaxin, and we'll go in that direction. I hope I'm not confusing you guys, but the one thing I'm noticing so far is we always want to remember, where did Ocugen come from, how well it held up here, how well it's holding up here. So we're going to look at some important numbers, diving deeper into the chart, but so far that's what it's looking like, and we need to remember the steps that have led to this point and what we're waiting for the next steps. So the lowest point reached in this sideways movement is 240. I want every single investor to write that down and keep that in mind. 240 is super important moving forward. Now, our resistance is slightly below our current 50-day moving average. That's important because we need to look at resistance levels which were higher, which we're going to talk about in just a moment, for this stock throughout the day. But our current resistance based off the last couple hours of the day is at this point. The 50-day moving average is here at 262. As long as we're below it, we're in bearish territory, and as long as we're above it, we're in bullish territory. Now, if that gets crossed, resistance and the 50-day moving average have been crossed, and the next point would be up here, which is the highest point reached in the day, and that's 279. That's what the bulls really want to break through, but we first have steps to go through to get there. So 240, once again, lowest point of support levels. Our current support level is 247. We're currently sitting at 249. So 247 needs to not be crossed by the bears for the bulls to re-pull this back up and start a momentum. But if the bears break through this, the next point of reference you want to watch for is 240. How is the stock reacting between 247 and 240? And if it breaks through 240, this could start to hit newer lows and new support levels, which we need to watch very carefully how this is reacting in that direction. But when you look at it overall, it's been consolidating, hanging out within these areas, not going any lower, not going too crazy much up, but keeping itself leveled and with volume pretty low. That's something I want every single investor to be aware of. Volume is pretty low, and overall it's holding itself up, so investor sentiment is pretty bullish moving forward. Now, we are in tug of war zone, so we need to watch it carefully, but we also need to watch how low this is moving, because it could break out of that zone of consolidation and probably start hitting newer lows, and we need to watch it carefully. I'm not saying that because it breaks out of 240 and goes even lower that the bulls can't reappear and start the run, but it is something to be aware of and watch the behavior on how it reacts. But the first support level is 247. Now, on the other hand, we have our resistance. That's 261. The bulls definitely want to break through this, turn that into a support, and break away from it to reach newer highs and new resistance levels. Now, 50-day moving average is 1 cent above it, but just because 261 gets broken through does not guarantee that the bulls are going to get back into bullish territory. They need to break through the 50-day moving average and resistance to maintain leverage and pull up further away from the 50-day moving average, deeper into bullish territory to hit newer highs. But 261 will give us as investors an indication that momentum is working upwards, and if the bulls can turn that into a support, they should be able to pull away, reach newer highs, new resistance levels, and get closer to their goal, cross it, and end up in bullish territory. But it does not guarantee it. I want every single investor to be aware of that. Even though it's even a 1 cent difference, it still does not guarantee it. As always, if you found these cues helpful and informative, please do so and subscribe. Don't forget to click on the bell to turn on all notifications and not miss a single video that I post. Share this with your friends and community, and don't forget to hit the like button to let me know you watched this video. So for those of you that have stayed to know which ticker symbol to add to your watch list, the ticker symbol is ALGM. We've previously talked about WBA. If you haven't added that into your watch list, definitely do so. But do your due diligence on that as well. But ALGM has a niche in the EV sector, which will probably surprise you. And you probably were like, whoa. So EV cars are made, but they also need these safety features, and someone makes the chips that designs the integration into these cars for them to do this. So it's a big deal. It's a lot smaller than NVIDIA, but it has potential to be grasping some of that market share. If you do research on the company, it's interesting that they IPO'd last year towards the end of the year after the EV sector is starting to get hot, and now specifically moving forward, if you do a lot of research on EV cars, anywhere between 2025 all the way to 2030, we are going to start seeing more and more EV cars roll out, and this company has an opportunity to produce their niche product for these cars. So definitely check it out. Once again, the ticker symbol is ALGM, and if you want to see a much more thorough analysis on this ticker symbol, I talked about it back in December when it was at $24. Definitely comment down below and I'll share the link with you. Thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money.